Hello, welcome to today's sunrise yoga flow. We are going to be starting class in a standing position as we work through mobilizing and fluid postures to help us invite compassion and energy into the course of our day. Starting facing the short edge of the mat in Tadasana, grounding yourself in mountain pose, anchoring through the heels of the feet. Toes are spread wide, shoulders rolled back. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, lower the hands to heart center. And again, flowing with the breath, finding mobility, warming up the arms, the shoulders. From here, we will transition into some hip warm-ups, interlacing our fingers together, grounding down through the left leg, flexing the right knee up at hip height and alternating steps. Transitioning the weight from one foot to the other, flexing and extending the hip joint. And from here we'll keep our right leg up and create some internal and external rotation in that ball and socket. Opening the knee out wide and bringing it in towards the midline. We'll go on the left side, grounding down through the right leg. If you need to tap your toe down at any stage, that's perfectly okay. A few more rounds. And gently placing the left foot down underneath the hip. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bending the knees. And again, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, relaxing the neck. Once more, halfway lift, extending the legs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up into chair pose, Utkatasana, sinking the hips back. Arms are extended by the ears, finding length through the fingertips, broadening across the chest, the collarbones, protecting the lower back, activating the core, drawing the navel towards the spine. Shifting your weight into the heels whilst using your toes for support. Exhale, forward fold. From here we'll step back into plank pose, lowering the knees as we push back into child's pose. Resting the Ajna chakra, the third eye, on the mat beneath you. Extending the arms out in front. Surrendering to this moment. From here we'll transition into a tabletop position, grounding down through the palms, either tucking the toes or keeping them pointed. We're going to extend our right leg back, squaring the hips, floating that right leg up in line with hip height, creating some small pulses. The leg is extended, heel is drawing the leg away from the body, toes and knees are pointed towards the surface beneath you. Stay up and hold. Relaxing the muscles of the face, one more breath, and gently lowering the knee back down, taking one round of cat and cow to clear out the spine, neutralize the alignment, and we'll go on the other side. Extending the left leg back, squaring the hips, floating the left leg up, and beginning to create some small pulses. Engaging that glute, the hamstrings, the quadriceps. Everything is turned on. This is a mindful, intentional practice. Stay up and hold. Engage the core. Keeping a soft micro bend in the elbows so we're not hyperextending. One more breath. And float the knee back down. One round of cat and cow. From here we'll flip the grip of our palms facing up, fingertips towards the knees, wriggling out the fingers once or twice. And from here we'll transition into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Perhaps keeping a considerable bend in your knees if your hamstrings are feeling particularly tight. You might like to walk out the dog, bending one knee towards the midline, extending the other, swaying the hips from side to side, and eventually finding stillness in downward facing dog. Inhale, float the right leg up, keeping the hips squared. We'll keep that leg up and pulse. Three-legged dog pulses, foot is flexed. Externally rotate the hip, drawing that leg higher. Flex the knee, draw the right heel towards the glute. Re-extend the leg, draw the knee towards the chest. Exhale, float the foot down between the palms. Come up into warrior one, squaring the hips, back foot is out on a diagonal. Heel is in, toes are pointed out. Maybe finding Kali Mudra, interlacing all fingers except index and thumbs. Finding engagement in the core, perhaps finding a soft back bend lifting up and out of the thoracic spine. Front knee is in line with the ankle. One breath and we'll transition, pivoting on the back leg as we come into warrior two. Being mindful to keep that front knee in line with the ankle, tracking in line with the second toe. A slight tuck of the pelvis, we're not arching the back. Working on finding a 90-degree angle with that front leg. Arms are extended at shoulder height, perhaps gazing over those front fingertips. Finding length along the spine, maybe closing the eyes, letting go. We'll transition into Sun Warrior, flipping the palms skywards as we gently graze our left arm down the back leg, gazing up, or perhaps looking down at the floor if that's more restorative for your neck. 2 breaths here. If you wobble out of the posture at all, like I just did, that is okay. An opportunity to try again and arrive in the moment. 1 more breath, transitioning back into warrior 2. And from here we'll pivot into warrior 1. A moment here, we'll bend considerably, transferring our weight into that front leg as we lift up into warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3, squaring the hips to the mat. Back leg, the left leg is extended. Foot is flexed, toes are pointed towards the surface beneath you. You might like to find Kali Mudra here. Gently lower the leg back down, cactus the arms out wide. Frame the front foot as we step back into plank pose, taking a round of Vinyasa or meeting us back in downward facing dog. 1 breath here. And we'll get ready to go on the other side, extending the left leg skywards, keeping the hips squared, finding those pulses, 3-legged dog pulses. Point the toes, externally rotate that left hip. Flex the knee, drawing the heel towards the glutes. Re-extend the leg. Flex the knee, drawing the knee towards the chest. 1 breath here. And gently placing the left foot down between the hands. Coming up into Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1, pivoting on that back foot. Doing our best to square the hips to the front of the mat. Perhaps joining the palms together. Maybe extending the arms out in front, whatever works for you. Maybe adopting Kali Mudra. Sinking low in that front leg, scissoring the inner thighs together. 1 more breath and pivoting on that back leg as we transition into Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Taking a moment to find your alignment, if that means heel toeing the front foot out a few inches. This is your practice. Never feel that you are restricted to a posture. You can always take modifications and change the asana completely if you're not vibing with one posture. Feeling as though we are being extended in multiple directions through the fingertips, up through the crown of the head, grounding down through the feet, finding your foundation, and we'll transition into Sun Warrior, gliding that right arm down the right leg, extending that left arm, finding a side body stretch. 5 breaths here. Transitioning to Warrior 2, pivoting that back foot as we come into Warrior 1, transitioning our weight into that front leg as we hinge from the hips, coming into Warrior 3, floating the right leg up. Knee is pointed towards the surface beneath you, hips are squared, arms are extended out in front. 2 breaths here. Keeping a micro bend in that foundational leg, that left leg, if that works for you. Gently lowering the right leg back down, cactusing the arms out wide. Exhale, frame the front foot, step back into plank pose, meeting in downward dog, either taking a chaturanga or finding a variation of your choice. Taking one gradual restorative breath in downward facing dog, finding your presence, and we'll extend our right leg into 3-legged dog. Go again with those pulses, keeping the leg up, keeping the foot flexed. Externally rotate that right leg, flex at the knee, draw the heel towards the glutes, draw the knee towards the chest. Place the foot down between the palms, coming up into Warrior 1. 1 breath here. Exhale, transition into Warrior 2. 1 breath here. Flip the grip, come into Sun Warrior, Reverse Warrior. Exhale, come up into Warrior 2. Pivoting on that back foot as we transition into Warrior 1, hinging from the hips, press up into Warrior 3. 1 breath, gently lower back down, cactus the arms out wide, frame the front foot, step back into plank pose, find your variation, either chaturanga or downward facing dog. 1 breath here. And we'll get set up to go on the other side, finding a fast flow. Inhale, float the left leg up, finding those small pulses, keeping the leg extended. Externally rotate the left hip, flexing at the knee, drawing the heel towards the glutes, re-extend the leg, 3-legged dog, draw the knee towards the chest, place the left foot down between the palms, rise, come up into Warrior 1. 1 breath here. On your next exhale, we'll pivot on the back leg as we transition into Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2, checking that alignment. Exhale, float the right arm down the right leg as we come into Sun Warrior. 1 breath here. Exhale back into Warrior 2, pivoting on the back foot as we transition into Warrior 1. Hinging from the hips, grounding down through that left leg, coming up into Warrior 3. Finding stability. Exhale, gently float that right leg down, cactus the arms out wide, Warrior 1. Float the palms down, press back into plank pose, chaturanga, meeting in downward facing dog. From here, we will heel toe our feet towards the top of the mat, coming into a forward fold. You might like to find a ragdoll, interlacing the fingers around opposite elbow, bending the knees considerably, allowing the chest to rest on the tops of the thighs. You might like to place the palms underneath the soles of the feet, extending the legs, coming into a deep forward fold, releasing the backs of the hamstrings, the lower back. And when you're ready, we'll heel toe our feet out wide, coming into a Garland's pose, Malasana, heels in, toes out, palms together at heart center, using the triceps to press into the inner seams of the thighs, finding length, softening the jaw, maybe closing the eyes, settling down. When you're ready, we'll transition onto our sits bones. We'll roll down one vertebra at a time, perhaps interlacing your fingers behind your thighs, coming down onto our backs into a supine position. From here, we'll create 90-degree angles with our legs. Knees are in line with the hips, feet are together, and we'll gently lower our legs over to one side, exhale back to center. Go on the other side, keeping the arms extended out wide. Flowing with the breath. Ensuring that the shoulders and the upper back stay connected with the earth beneath you. A few more either side. Working on lower abdominal strength. Drawing the navel towards the spine. A few more. If you'd like to level up a little bit, you are more than welcome to try this variation with the legs extended skywards. Feet are flexed, same movement, lowering the legs down on a diagonal to either side of the body. If this causes any sensation in the lower back, you're more than welcome to flex the knees, making it a smaller movement, and just going as far to the side as you can whilst maintaining that abdominal engagement. Release, draw the knees towards the chest, coming into happy baby, Ananda Balasana, using the hands to grab the lateral edges of either foot. Finding stillness or movement, maybe extending one leg out at a time, finding a deep hamstring stretch and a release along the lower back. Perhaps extending both legs out together. And when you're ready, we'll find some spinal rolls as we rock up to a seated position, taking as many transitions as you like for today. From here, we'll spread the knees wide, sink our hips back towards our heels as we come into child's pose. Again, lowering the third eye center to the surface beneath you, surrendering to this moment. Recognizing your efforts for showing up today. Letting go of any expectations you had for this class. Letting go of any expectations for how you should be feeling. Simply accepting this moment for what it is. And when you're ready, coming up into a seated position. Closing the eyes. Taking 3 cleansing breaths to close practice. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Thank you all so much for joining today's Sunrise Yoga Flow. I am so grateful for the opportunity to connect with you. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.